Welcome, welcome, welcome to A Queen's Roundtable Show. We are now live, I believe. There we go. So, how's everybody doing on this beautiful Sunday afternoon? Even here in Michigan, our weather is pretty decent for this time of year. I'm your host, Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. Thank you so much for joining us for another awesome episode of A Queen's Roundtable Show and Podcast. So, as usual, I have another awesome guest for you all today. I can't wait. I am super excited. And we are going to get started in just a moment. Just a couple of things I want to say. Make sure you show us some love, give us a like, give us a little heart, and definitely give us your feedback. Give us any questions or comments that you may have, as well as, last but not least, make sure that you share the broadcast out. They say sharing is caring, right? So please make sure you share it. So just a quick little background on A Queen's Roundtable Show. It happens every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what I do is I come live and I bring on a different entrepreneur each week. And we basically talk openly and honestly about entrepreneurship and the ups and the downs, right? And we end on an inspirational / educational note. So the idea behind the show is to help you scale your business. And if you, as always, if you're interested in being a guest on the show, there is a link. Please click that link and let's do it. Let's make it happen. So without further ado, I'm going to let my special guest introduce herself. So go ahead, Ms. Kirkendoll. Take it away.
Well, good evening, good afternoon. I am enjoying this 1 hour back. My name is Fouchina Kirkendoll, and I'm CEO of Chronicles of a Favored Woman. It is a pleasure to be here. I am actually in the state of Georgia, Duluth, Georgia, at that, Gwinnett County, and our weather is it's a little warmer than expected because we've been having rainy and cold weather here, my two worst combinations of weather. But today it is so beautiful out here, and especially on the day that it falls backwards. But I am a certified coach practitioner. I'm an empowerment coach. I am a life coach. I am just here to give inspiration by telling people my truth, because everyone has a story. And there is deliverance and power in your story. And I look forward to moving forward with this tonight. Miss Jackie is a phenomenal queen. And being in her acquaintance and just being a guest on her platform is just a privilege. And I'm truly humbled to be here today. And I pray that whatever God leads forth for us to discuss, that is, our mouths to give and your ears to listen and receive.
Yes. And we've collaborated before a couple of times, and it's just such a joy to work with you. You're always so, faith-filled, because a lot of people talk to talk, they don't necessarily walk the walk,
Right.
and you are definitely, one of those individuals that is just so genuine and so transparent, and that's so, in my opinion, that's a rarity, nowadays, to find all of those types of qualities in one individual. I mean, that's real, not pretending. So I do appreciate you. And we're going to be doing her show later on today too, later on this evening.
Yes,
So I'm excited for
9:30.
that. And she's going to talk to you a little bit more about that as well. So you can make sure you tune in for that. So if you could just dive in a little bit more about your why. Well, tell us who you serve and how you serve them. And basically the why behind your business. Like, how did this come about and when did it come about?
Actually, I serve God foremost, number one. And then I serve people. I know that everyone has a story in life. I don't care what your story is. Everyone has a story. You may have similar stories, We may have different stories. We have one denominator. It is a story. It has been a transformation from one situation to another. That's what the story is all about. And my story is no different. As I mentioned, I haven't mentioned yet, so let me just go into it if it's okay, Miss Jackie. My story is simple. I'm a survivor of childhood sexual molestation. I endured childhood sexual molestation from kindergarten to third grade. The only reason it stopped at third grade because at that time my grandparents were providing for us because my mother and father was in New Jersey. That's where I was born. And then my mom decided to, relocate to South Carolina because her and my dad did not work out. And that's when the molestation ended, is when my mother came and got us out of that environment. Now, unbeknownst to her, she didn't know I was going through or what I have gone through. So I'm just letting you know that, there are people out there. I grew up in an era where, kids were seen and not heard. And that is such a false statement. There's a time and a place for everything under the sun, as they say in Ecclesiastic. The time when you talk and the time when you're not to talk. But as kids, we grew up that you are a child, you stay as a child, and you're silenced as a child. And as a result of that, I've learned in my path and in my ministry that God has bestowed upon me that a lot of people keep that hush hush. And even if they do tell it, it's pushed under the rug because they don't want embarrassment to the family or they don't want so-and-so to go to jail. Well, I'm going to leave that right there for right now. What I'm stating is I endured the molestation for a while, but even though I was taken out of the environment, I still was dealing with the residue of being molested as a child. What do you mean by that? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I left not having a voice because my voice was always given to me. I left with not knowing who I am, who I was. It was like I was a puppet on a string. People always told me what I had to do, what I couldn't do, and I didn't have an identity. I lost my entire identity behind the situation. I went over. We lived in Charleston for a while, and I was gone from that environment from fourth grade to ninth grade because I came back to the same environment in 10th grade. Fortunately, I didn't have to be in that situation again. So I went to high school. I went through the bullying. I went through the, losing the virginity at an early age, and then not realizing that those seeds were being planted in me, those spirits, because there are spirits that will bind to you, especially when you're bonded with someone else, not realizing all the attachment I was dealing with. And then I was dealing with rejection from family and friends and associates. I was dealing with abandonment issues because I was with my grandmother. You notice that. I'm not shunning my family because it is what it is. As parents, we do the best that we can for our children, and that's usually it. But I was dealing with that feeling of rejection. I wasn't there when my brothers and I, we got separated. And we weren't back together except when I went to visit and stuff. But I was dealing with so many things as a young female, just confused and alone and not knowing what was going on. And as a result of it, I ended up, I'm sorry, a phone call just came in. As a result of it, I ended up confused, discombobulated. It wasn't until my senior year in high school. Well, let me go a little back further. A senior. I ended up being, everybody knew me to be a sassy mouth, or I would always use my mouth as my protective mechanism. So you couldn't approach me any kind of way because if you did, you got your feelings hurt. And people did not understand at the time, but I still am to this day very sensitive. And the best way for me to defend myself was to keep people out of my space. And how do I keep people out of my space? I will cut you up like that. If you came at me some kind of way, you would get your feelings hurt. But it wasn't until my senior year in high school when I met someone that I knew truly cared for me. Because at this point, I didn't trust family. I didn't trust family, period. I had a point where the molester, I was in a situation where we were all on the same phone line and he was talking to another woman and I got jealous of it. And he came over and told my grandmother what happened. So I was thinking maybe this is an opportunity for her to find out why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. But she didn't do that. In fact, it was more so, you're a child, you were out of place, and I immediately got scolded. And she slapped the tar out of my face. I will never, ever forget that. Now, I understand because I disrespected, but it was to me, why didn't you ask me why I did that? But it was at that moment, it was that pivotal moment in my life. I was like, I cannot trust anybody. And I knew that no one would be there to protect me. So I had to do whatever I had to do to protect myself. Moving forward to what I was saying earlier, I met someone in high school, my senior high school boyfriend at the time. And I was a little leery, but he proved to be a genuine friend. And I didn't know what that was. Everybody wanted something from me. I was pretty, people liked the way I looked. They liked the way I smile, even though they were scared to approach me. Females always coming to me because some guy is interested in me. It was just something. But I met a friend, a true friend, and we ended up dating my senior year in high school. And I don't know what happened, what caused it, but I finally told him what was going on, and that I told him my dark secret, that I was fondled and molested for years, and I was angry about it. And it felt like an elephant off my chest to finally get that off my chest. It was, and you know what's interesting with him? I felt free. I felt comfortable because I knew that he would protect me the best way that he knew how to protect me. But I knew my secret was safe with him. And we're still good friends to this day, me and his family. But my point is, you may go through a situation, and you may be going through a situation, and you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to. If you don't, they have hotlines out there. You could talk to someone. We have Chronicles of a Favorite Woman. You can reach out to us. I will give you our contact information, our contact email. If you just need, sometimes people just need a sounding board on getting stuff off their chest. And once you get that off your chest, oh my gosh, that's when it is. It's just like an addict. When you finally admit you have an issue, that's when the healing can begin. Now the story goes on because my healing didn't start right then and there, but it opened up the avenue for me to get it. So I'm not sure if I'm talking too much, Miss Jackie, if I need to break for a second. I'm sorry. Okay.
You're fine.
Okay. So at that point, when I did that, we graduated from high school. And we both went to college. He went to a different college, but in high school it was different because in college it was different because when I was in high school, I was sheltered. I mean, I was sheltered because they felt like they were protecting me from the world, and they didn't allow me to develop social skills. Now, once again, no pun against my family. They do the best that they could with the information they knew. But when I went to college, it's more so I'm free. I got all this free space. I can make my own decisions. I can do whatever I want to do. And I didn't know how to handle that freedom. And I don't even have to tell you, ladies, what ended up happening my freshman year in college. That's when promiscuity really kicked in for me. And that's when when you're a freshman in college, I don't have to tell ladies or men this, we're the guppies. And if you're not equipped and ready for this world, they will eat you up like piranhas. And I was one of those. And I literally had to learn from the school hard knocks because I equated sex for love. So I felt like I was not appreciated or valued unless someone had their hands on me, because that's all I knew. I mean, and then of course I had the itch for sex because I got introduced to it. And so early I was masturbating at the age of 9. You know, I had the urge, and the urge had to be scratched. Now, I was still with my senior boyfriend, and he was in a college way, way up north, where I was. But, you know, but his cousin was my roommate. And so, of course, everything was getting back to him. But believe it or not, he forgave me. It didn't matter what they said about me. He was willing to forgive me. And that what to me was genuine. But I had to get to a point where I couldn't do that to him anymore, because I knew I'm on a journey. I don't know what this journey is about. I know something's wrong, and but I can't tell you what it is. And I remember having a conversation where he said, I want to help you. I can't ask you to help me if I don't know what I need help on. You don't deserve this. I need, and because I knew he had a calling on his life, and he's a very awesome minister, reverend right now of a church. He's a shepherd. But I knew that I could not string someone along. It just wasn't fair to him. And as a result, I ended up in a lot of bad relationships. I ended up in a bad marriage, raising my kids. They felt the remnants of me being rejected and abandoned and not feeling worthy, until I came into healing, until I came to the point of my life where I couldn't no longer deal with unattainable men, because I felt like that's all I was worth. I felt, I just started accepting everything beneath my blessing. I remember a pastor in Columbia, South Carolina, Dr. Charles B. Jackson, when he told us, and he was in a revival, you have to learn to start walking in your blessing and not beneath your blessing. It was at that moment, I just got to a point where I just exploded. I didn't care about anybody's feelings. I didn't care about anything but me and my children. That was it. But I got to a point where the dust was so high, I had to stop. I was choking off of my own dust. And I said, there's got to be something better for me. And I called out to God. I remember being in the bed, and I was laughing so hysterically, I literally was cracking up. And I said, I called on God, and I said, God, I need you right now. I can't do this by myself. Something has got to give. And I've tried everything but you. And I need you to come into my life right now. I need you now. I need you. I need you. And he saw me in my filth, in all my filth. He came. He heard my cry. He heard my cry and came and picked me up out of the filth. He washed me off. He breathed the breath of life in me and told me, you no longer answer to what they used to call you anymore. And now your name is sought after. Child of God, my beautiful queen, my woman of God. I got you. I got you. So I'm here to tell you, ladies, I don't care what you go through, what you have been, no matter what they try to say about you, just know you got a friend in Jesus. Yes, Lord, you have a friend in Jesus. He will hear you. I don't care how many times you fall, because as long as we're on this earth, we're always going to fall short of his glory. So don't you let nobody tell you anything different. I'm here to tell you there is redemption in the word. There is peace in the word. There is joy in the word. You gotta want it, and you gotta want it like your life depended on it. And if you want it bad enough, and you getting sick and tired of being sick and tired, you just call out to him and let him know. Because if you don't believe he exists, just think about a time when you was in a situation that you did not get yourself out of, but you here listening to us today. Trust me and know it ain't you. Trust me and know it ain't somebody else. It is God himself. It is his son Jesus who went on the cross and died for our sins, so we may have life and have life more abundantly. So I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what addiction, what affliction, whatever trauma, whatever drama you go through. If you want life and you want it abundantly, you call out to him and say, come and get me. I am ready to serve. But you got to want it. And I mean, nobody can want it better than you can. You got to want it. I can talk until my butthole can feel gold. But until you make that decision to say, I'm tired of this, and I'm tired of being sick and tired, and something is out there better for you. And I don't care what they say, because when I turned my life over, don't think the naysayers didn't believe me. When I decided to go abstinent, that's when the naysayers really came, because everybody knew I was a sex addict. As a result, I was addicted to pain and addicted to sex. And I'm not one of those people that's going to hem and haw about it. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat no truth for you. I was out there. I was out there looking for love in all the wrong places, seeking for justification and acceptance for people who don't even have the authority to give me that. Instead of me believing people who got all this going on behind their stuff, they so busy worrying about my stuff. And the truth of the matter is, ain't nobody got no heaven or hell to put you in some type of glass cage when they living in the glass cage themselves. So I say this, as Miss Jackie like to say, because I like to use her, unshakable faith. I love you, Miss Jackie, for that. You have to have a determination that you want to do whatever you need to do. And it don't matter what anybody has to say. The only word that matters in the end is job well done, thy good and faithful servant. Don't be one of no graveyard people, like Les Brown said, and all your dreams dying in the coffin and being buried in the coffin. No, ma'am. No, sir. This is the time. And every day that you get another day above this earth, 6 feet above the ground, please know he is giving you another chance, because you didn't have the choice to wake up yourself, but you do choose how you're going to make your day. Is it going to be a great day? Is it going to be a productive day? What can you do to bless someone? That's what you need to be concerned about. Forgiveness. You know, I don't know if you want to ask me a question or anything, Miss Jackie, before I get into, I don't even know about my time. I'm just talking. I'm just going at it.
No, you are fine. You are fine. Everything is, right on time. And thank you for sharing, that in your story. That lets us know how you got to where you are today. I did have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, how old were you when this when you called upon Jesus? How old were you at that time?
Well, I had a couple incidents doing it, because I did it and I fell back. I did it and I fell back. I first did it after I got divorced, around 23, 24 time frame. I became serious about it 10, 15 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I did my second covenant, because I only have 2 covenants I've made with God. My first covenant was, I smoked a cheap cigar in college. It bothered me for 3 months. I said, Lord, if you get me through this, I won't touch another cigar again. That was my covenant. My second one is, I knew that sex was an addiction and it had control over me. And I made a covenant that I will wait until marriage. I will not do it any longer until he sends me the one that I'm supposed to be with, and that will be there so we can worship him together and we could be soldiers for him together. And that was 6 years ago.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the questions I have now is, I wanted to ask, as of like right now, today,
Mm-hmm.
what is your relationship like with your family?
I still love my family. Um, my brother, who is, I have four, well, I had four brothers. I lost one about a year and a half ago, but I'm the oldest of five. Well, now four. And my brothers and I, one died. That was the one I was close to. That's one of the ones I was close to. But I have another brother. I call him my ace. Now he's my younger brother chronologically, okay, but in mannerisms and stuff, he's definitely the older brother because he's wiser beyond his years, and he is the one that he is close. My mother and I, our relationship has come a long way. Uh, and I look forward to what God has in store for it in the future. And I have another brother that's the same way. We were really tight at one time. We kind of fell off, and it's just cordial, but we love each other. That's the one thing I do know. I know that I don't care what's going on. I'm not going to let nobody else mess with my family. That's how we are. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And my father and I are very tight. We are very tight.
All right. Now you guys are you're in Jersey?
I'm in Georgia. My father's in New Jersey, and my mother is in South Carolina.
Okay. All right. And
And
where
my
your brother?
grandmother, yeah, my brother is in North Carolina. And then I have another brother that's in New Jersey, and another brother that's in Duluth, here in Duluth, where I live.
Okay. Okay, so let's segue into your business.
Mhm.
Tell us what it's called exactly and who you serve and how you serve them.
You asked me that question earlier, and I just went on a tangent. Okay, so the name of my business is Chronicles of a Favorite Woman, and I have a podcast, an internet radio show that airs every Sunday at 9:30. We talk about several topics, but the environment is always set. The premise is always set around people having a comfortable environment to discuss what's going on with life. And it's funny because tonight we're going to be talking about unshakable faith. I wonder who that is. That would be Miss Jackie. It is those type of things that we talk about because there's so many things that people are going through, and people just needs to hear your story because you never know who's going through the same thing. So my job is to promote stories because everyone has a story. I don't care how successful you are, you have a story. You got here for a reason. And that is what I do. That is what my business is, to have people tell their truth. And that's what Chronicles is all about. Right now we have an internet show, our internet radio show, but we also do Facebook Live. And in the future, we're moving forward. God has given me the green light. We're moving forward, and we're looking at television now. Because like I stated, it's all about getting people to tell their stories, and the goal is helping one soul, one person, one soul at a time, because all I need is one. All you need is one spark to start a forest fire. I'm moving forward with going into coaching. I've been a certified coach for almost 20 years. It wasn't until this year I started using my certification.
So for 20, did I hear you correctly? 20
Yes.
years, and you said it wasn't until here recently that you started using the certification?
Exactly. My background is nonprofit. When I was in South Carolina, I mean, that's all I know. I can raise money. I can fundraise. I can write grants. I can research grant. I can break down grant. I can, create collaborations. That's what I did. But when I came to Georgia, it was different. Life was a little different because my life was a lot different. I started doing something else. Accounts receivable, and I didn't even think I would do that for as long as I have, but it ended up being a ministry for me because God just put people in my place where I'm able to minister without ministering, if that makes sense. But now he's taking me to a different level, combining both of my area of expertise and taking me to that level of it's time for you to reach the mass. And that's where I'm headed to now. It started off with the show, and
Wow.
now it's blossoming into a book, and more than one book to be exact, and collaborations. You know, I did my very first platform when I was on the same platform as you, Miss Jackie, Power Up. That was my very first platform that I did. Mm-hmm.
Isn't it awesome though? I mean, just being able to, network with other like-minded individuals,
Mm.
being able to tell your story.
Yes,
It's just so many
it
benefits of it. So many.
it's a humbling experience for me. Um, you are one of my mentors, believe it or not. You are one of, I just sit back and I watch. I'm like a sponge. I'm like, it's time to go to the next level. What's my next level? You know, and Dr. Cheryl Wood, she has her conference going on right now. And also Success, I think it's Success Fest. They're having theirs right now. I just did Shea Brown Comeback Champions. And yeah,
How was that? I
that
saw
was
that.
phenomenal. It was, his energy is just infectious. You know, you hear him talk, you're like, yeah, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. He just has that way of getting you ignited. And I'm like, I can do this. I really can. But, like you said, these platforms really open up the doors.
Mhm.
Even prior to getting involved with the platform, people say, Chinny, you need to share your story because I've always loved to talk. And I don't mind talking in front of people because I'm very transparent. Um, but it really has opened up some awesome doors. And I thank you for just being the queen that you are and being so nice and, welcoming. And I just appreciate you for who you are. And I just got to give you kudos because you deserve it.
Oh, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Oh, you are so sweet, and it's a pleasure. I'm glad that we cross paths and that we continue to, reach out to one another and support one another and collaborate. And that's what it's all about. It makes me feel
Mhm.
so good to make those connections.
Right.
So I appreciate you as well. And
Thank you, ma'am.
I have to piggyback on about Shay Brown. I had the opportunity to meet him in person for the Leadership Experience Tour, and his energy is just amazing,
Yeah, I believe it.
amazing. And again, a lot of times, I guess in this virtual space, people can be one way online, but then sometimes you meet them in person. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay,
Hmm.
you know, but him, it's like he's just as energetic and you know and positive, and like you said, his energy is very, very contagious. So the same way he is online is how he is in person, and it was so amazing though. I really do like him, and I admire him, and I've learned so much from him. I haven't
Yeah.
participated in his summit, but that's something I like to do for next year,
Oh,
you
you'll
know,
love it.
2022. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You'll
but
love
yeah,
it.
but congratulations on that.
Yeah, and it's funny because you did the Sean Fair experience, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
And I got invited, and I was so shocked. I was like, he was paying attention to me. I was so shocked. I was very shocked. I was like, oh my God. I said, wait a minute, did just Jackie just do this and Shay Brown? Oh my gosh. So I won't be doing February though. I'm taking my son to Disney, but I will be doing August.
You know what? I might see you there because I'm. It's my plan. That's the one in Vegas, right?
No, it's in uh Texas, Dallas.
Okay, where am I getting Vegas from? Okay, I definitely remember it was a warm environment because I remember thinking,
Yeah,
I live in Michigan, and I know a
yeah.
lot of people are not, especially if they're in a warmer place, they are not trying to come here in
And I
February.
am definitely one of those people. I said,
February.
Detroit, you talk about Detroit in February? Nah,
Look,
not
I don't even
happening.
want to be
I
here. I'm here because this is where I
Yeah,
live, you know. But I would
exactly. And I was like, that's around the time I take my son. That's around my birthday, not too long ago for my birthday. But then I was like, oh no, that's interrupting my son trip and faith, family, finances. I don't break it. So I was like,
yeah,
okay, Sean, I got another commitment. But when he told me August in Dallas, I said, I'm there. I
yeah.
love
I
that.
think I'm gonna. That I mean, that's my plan. I mean,
Yeah,
trying to get together my next year's calendar, and
yeah, same here.
that's one. I'm thinking that that's something I'm gonna participate in. That should be nice. That should be nice.
Nice. Well, I'm looking
Um,
forward to seeing you, most definitely. I'm just
yeah,
looking forward to having the experience because I just watched your experience, from what I've seen. I was like, gosh, that is phenomenal,
yeah. It was a lot of
and it's
fun. I mean,
such a humbling experience.
and I was nervous, but just it was so much support, and another thing that I really liked about the leadership experience tour as well as success, I felt that not only did I have an opportunity to step on a virtual stage, increase my visibility, my credibility, network with some awesome people, but I also learned a lot.
Yes,
And to me, that's so important, is to be able to learn, be able to take away something that I could use in my business. I mean, well, in my business, personal life and professional life, to be able to,
right.
step my game up, and that was so important to me. So I have to honestly say, it was just, both of those experiences were just great. And I wouldn't trade it for the world, and I definitely want to do it again. I just have to
Awesome. Well,
really
you did
plan it
well.
out.
Yeah, well, you did a phenomenal job. I got a
Oh,
chance to listen to you. You did a phenomenal job. And I cannot wait until next year because, like you, I'm planning my 2022 calendar. And I'm so far, he was the very first one I locked on the calendar. And now I have others that's coming in. But yeah, I'm so excited. Like I said, it's a humbling experience for me. And as I grow and I move forward, you know, being associated with yourself, being associated with Shay, being associated with, Kern Cherry and Dr. Yolanda Jerry, it's just very humbling for me, because I would have never gotten that had I not stepped out on faith. I actually had to step out on faith. It's like if you're asking God to do this for you, then you need to do something. If you want something you never had, you got to do something you never done. And I started investing in myself because I knew that something greater was out there for me. And I go back to telling our listening audience, I don't care what you've gone through. I don't care what you're going through. There's something greater out there for you. And it is yours for the taking if you want it. The question is, how bad do you want it? There are so many people out there like Miss Jacqueline, myself, and so many other people out there that you can reach out to. I don't know, I don't know anyone that I have reached out to that hasn't been very helpful. But I'm going to say this: before you become an entrepreneur, a successful person in entrepreneurship, you got to get your personal relationship right first. See, I ran into that issue when I was younger. I didn't know how to separate my personal from my business. And as far as I'm concerned, when you hurt me, you hurt me. I didn't know how to separate. I was very good in nonprofit. I exceeded all of the expectations, but that's all I really knew how to do because I knew I had control over it. And when my control was jeopardized, or if my control, I felt there was a control was jeopardized, and even in my work area, I didn't react very well. And that let me know I had root issues that I need to deal with. So in order to maintain a outstanding business relationship, you got to get your personal relationship together because it does matter. It does matter. And there are people out there. I want to suggest, for me, I went to therapy. I still have a therapist. You know, don't be ashamed to get help. Don't be ashamed. Because once again, yes, this is about an entrepreneurial, but until your personal is together, professional is not going to be together.
You know what? I'm so glad you said that, because a lot of times people think that, they don't, that they're just going to jump into like a business class and, learn all these business techniques and how to create funnels and how to, do those, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank, but all of the different particulars in terms of business strategy. But a lot of times what they miss is the mindset work. A lot of people call it mindset work. And that's really working on you personally. And the thing of it is, you're not going to be able to even properly execute all of these business principles and execute them well and consistently and authentically to be able to have that success, long term. And I think a lot of people kind of don't really think about that, but it
Right.
comes to a point where they have to ask themselves, what's not working? What do I need to improve on? And then they might begin to dive in and doing that mindset work. Because, sometimes it's challenging. It's not easy looking at ourselves. You
Yes.
know what I
And it's
mean?
Oh yeah, I definitely get it. It's funny because it just runs into what I wanted to end it with, because I know time is getting away from us. One of the things I learned in my 50 years of living is creating healthy responsibilities for your life. It's not your fault that you were abused. It's not your fault of the trauma and drama that was caused against you. And like myself, it's not my fault I was sexually molested. But you know what? It is my responsibility. It is my responsibility to take my control back of my life. It is your responsibility to take control back over your life. So, what are some of the ways that we can do that? Because once you get your personal life together, everything else is going to fall into place, because entrepreneurship is a relationship, it's a ship, and you have to know how to navigate your ship. And a couple nuggets I want to leave before we leave is, there are three things I want to leave with you. One, the power of discovering and utilizing your voice. You have to know your voice, that you have a voice. And though your voice was taken before, take your voice back. And what do you need to do? Take the shame off of you, because it wasn't your fault that you got molested, and you didn't molest yourself. You put that shame and you put that blame on the perpetrator that did it to you. Okay? Stop settling and wear your crown, the one that God has given you. Number two, besides, knowing the power and utilizing your voice, is the importance of forgiveness. Forgiveness is not for them. It is for you. Well, I don't know if I could forgive. Yeah, you can forgive. Think about all the things you have done that that wasn't right. If you can be forgiven, you can forgive other people. Because, like I said, we don't have a heaven or hell to put nobody in. And part of your entrepreneurship is your personal relationship. That means your personal relationship with God, and then the personal relationship with yourself. And another thing, forgive yourself. Not just forgive the people who wronged you, but also forgive yourself. You have to do it. Okay? And then the power of LIG, let it go. Now, you can't take away what has happened to you, but once you truly forgive, when it comes back to your remembrance, you won't react the same way you used to. You won't relive it over and over and over again. It'll be a learning lesson as to how you could help other people and how this once had you in bondage and now you're free. And then, so we did the power of discovering, utilizing our voice. We did the importance of forgiveness. And the third one is your responsibility to help others. God did not deliver you for you to keep your testimony to yourself. He did not. Your testimony, and that's what it is. You went through a test to create a testimony to be a testament for those who are needing to hear it. He has designed people to hear your story. If you want healing, start sharing your story. Start networking and collaborating with like-minded people. If you know that you want to be in a millionaire status, guess who you need to start hanging around? Millionaire status people. If you know that coaching is what you want to do, and if you want to be a motivational speaker, guess who you need to start gravitating to? Coaches and motivational speakers. Now, am I telling you to cut everybody off? No, I'm not saying that. You just have to put people in your life. Some people in your life for reasons, season, a lifetime. And some people going to be in your life because, honey, we can't choose our family. We just got to love them. But what I have learned to do is I have learned to put a line in the sand. And you are good on that side of the line, but you are not welcome on this side of the line. It don't mean I don't love you. I'm just going to have to love you from afar. That's what I'm going to have to do. Because if they're not pouring into what you're trying to do, then you don't need to be around that. I love you from afar. And I've learned with my family, when they come at me a certain kind of way, my best word is, okay. And I keep it moving. And if you try to come again, then all of a sudden, I'm just going to be like, do you know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? I just come crazy. They'd be like, what? I'm like, yeah. I mean, have you ever thought about that? Because I'm not about to entertain your foolishness. I'm just not going to do it. And sometimes staying the distance. Not that I don't love you or anything. I just need my distance because I like to be in my happy place. And this is what keeps me happy. And if you, especially if you know that you can get to me, you'll do everything that you can. But you don't have that power anymore. It goes back to taking your power back. Take your power back. So pay it forward. Tell your story. Share your story. Whether you need to write your story down. And I pray that you're having a journal. Use a journal to just start writing down some of your stuff. And you'll be surprised. Your journal may turn into a book that could help people through their situation. Well, I'm afraid. Do it afraid. Do it afraid. When I started Chronicles, my podcast, I was given that vision since 2008. I was in a church and I couldn't stop writing. 2011, I got introduced to Blog Talk Radio. I created my account and still did nothing. It wasn't until my first episode, August 11, 2019. And here I am today on 2020. Do it afraid. Just do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, a degree, whatever. I don't care if you got to crawl, creep, walk, whatever you got to do. Use crutches. Just don't stop and don't quit. The race is not given to the swift, but the one who endures to the end. Okay, Miss Jackie. Sorry.
You know what? There's this quote. Now, just because I'm want to quote it, hopefully I get it right. But it's, let me see. If you want to go, see, here we go. Okay. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I'm thinking about consistency, just listening to what you just said. And, in terms of, because sometimes some people look at it like a race, you know what I mean? I want to do it all by myself and I don't want to ask anybody for help. I'm expecting it to happen overnight. Those types of thoughts. And sometimes we have those thoughts, but we're not even consciously aware of it. But the
Mm-hmm.
key to anybody, or one of the keys to anybody being successful, is, like you said, you have to take action. And it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be perfect, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, because a lot of us get caught up in, I'm not starting my podcast or my mastermind or my show or my summit until everything is perfect. I have the perfect website, I have the perfect graphics, blah, 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 right? It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get out there
Mm-hmm.
and do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as you
Exactly.
do it, you're going to learn, you're going to adjust, you're going to tweak as you go along. But it's something about just the idea of taking action. When you take action, that inspires you, that encourages you, it propels you to continue to take action. Because I know I had to get that out of my head. It's not going to be perfect. Oh, wait a minute, I got to keep a check on the time too, because sometimes I get excited,
That's
and,
all right. I'm
obviously hit
looking
a lot of
at
triggers and different things I want to talk about.
we got
But
under 9 minutes.
wait a minute, what'd you just say?
Under 9 minutes.
Right, right, exactly. Well, actually, 55 minutes. So we have a few more minutes. But
Mm-hmm.
to kind of bring everything to a close, be consistent, network, and do your affirmations, whether it be, reading your Bible, meditating, surrounding yourself with other people that are like-minded, that are positive, that are going in the direction that you're going in. It's those types of things that will help you and propel you to continue on your journey and to be able to walk in your purpose.
Right. Right. Yeah, I see that you have the link for the show there, so I need to make a correction.
Oh,
So to
sorry.
do, oh, that's okay. That's why I'm doing it. So to we're doing the show tonight, and you can log on a couple ways. You could go to www.blogtalkradio.com/Chronicles of a Fondled Woman. That's one of the ways you can
Oh,
do.
okay. Oh,
Mhm. So it's
so, but
www dot blogtalkradio.com/Chronicles of a Fondled Woman. Excuse me, Chronicles of a Favorite Woman.
so is this right when you say /? I'm gonna let you look at it now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just taking a minute to come up, but it's
No
coming.
problem. And for those who want to email, if you want to talk or you just want that sounding board, you could, the B is everything is lowercase, but that's fine. I don't think it'll mess it up. www.blogtalkradio.com/Chronicles of a Favorite Woman. Perfect. Yes. So those who are on my Facebook page, we'll be doing Facebook Live, and I'm going to share it to Miss Jackie's page as well tonight, so we can actually catch her on Facebook Live as well as the Blog Talk. Now, in the event that Blog Talk is not up, it'll be Facebook Live only. But normally Blog Talk is up, but you can actually hear Miss Jackie's speech from back. I'll tell you what the date is. You can go to my Chronicles and you can go back to the history of the show, and her show is called Unshakable on the Blog Talk Radio site. So I'm excited to have her tonight, and I cannot wait. We're so excited. I think what I love most about what this connection has brought is the power of networking and the spirit of helping people go to their next level. They really are helping people go to the next level. So what's in store for Chronicles or for Fouchina Kirkendoll? It's really simple. I'm going to be on a couple shows coming up. Ms. Jackie is the first one for this month. And then I'll be on Kiva Murdoch's show. I will be on her show in this month. And it's one other show I'm going to be on. My mind just really truly went blank. But I will be doing, I'm one of the speakers for Dr. Sylvia Cole in December, Call to Inspire. I'm excited about that. And then going into the new year, I'll be doing Tammy Speaks, and I will also be doing the leadership experience. And I have a couple other irons in the fire. I'm looking forward to it, but those are my confirmed dates. So,
Okay.
but I just wanted to thank you, Miss Jackie, for allowing me to share your platform. And thank you for coming on mine later on. Um, my business is people, just to be simple. It's really people. And I'm a certified coach practitioner. I am an empowerment coach. I am here, but I'm also on Instagram under Fouchina Kirkendoll. And I'm also on Clubhouse under the same name as well.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about Clubhouse. I have to remember
Mhm.
because sometimes I forget about Clubhouse.
I like Clubhouse, but I've made the decision going into the new year, and it may be sooner than that. I'm going to launch my first Clubhouse. So I'm a little nervous about it, but that's what keeps me on my toes is when I'm nervous. So I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yes, yes, yes. Me too. Well, thank you,
Good.
everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Fuchina, for being on the show. I really
Thank
enjoyed
you
you.
for
Thank you
having me.
for, being transparent and sharing your journey with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
And I'm
having me.
really
Thank you for
excited as
having me.
well to come back onto your show later
Yeah,
on this evening. And was this 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard,
9:30
right?
Eastern Standard Time. Yes.
All right. So thank you, everybody, again. This concludes another awesome episode of A Queen's Roundtable Show, which happens every Sunday of the month at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring on a different guest and we talk openly and honestly about entrepreneurship and leave you all inspired and with different tools and techniques that you can definitely take and begin to scale your business. So if you're interested in being a guest on the show, click that link that is in the body of the write up and complete your application and let's make it happen. I look forward to chatting with you. All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your Sunday and I will talk to you again soon. Take care.
Good night.